What are we doing today?
Today we're gonna brand some butts and
cut some nuts. Well,
I'm gonna band some nuts.
Band some nuts and
pretty much that's what we're doing today. And
brand some butts.
What did I say?
I don't know. We're gonna band some nuts and brand some butts.
And I'm gonna give a few vaccines. That's what we're doing today.
And welcome to Casa de El Cattle Guy. Today we've got Miss Kaitlyn Moss actually on the way. She's bringing her pet, I guess you could call it a pet bull calf. She's bringing it because she needs him castrated. He's getting a little too big. And we are going to ask Miss Kaitlyn Moss why she chooses to band instead of surgically castrating. She's been in this business a lot longer than I have, and I'd really like to get her opinion on it. In the meantime, we could also be bringing in another bull calf and branding him and vaccinating him before he gets sent off to the new owner. So join us here on Cattle Guy as we go to work some bull calves. I told you all earlier Miss Kaitlyn Moss was on the way with her pet bull. Is that how you would classify him?
Well, I mean,
he's a bull.
He's about to be a steer.
So this is Peepaw. Sorry, Peepaw. Excuse me, buddy. So, right now, what we still need to do is we need to get one of the bulls from in the bull pasture out here. We need to get him into the corral because he needs to be branded and so that he can be registered to go to his new owner. So all that we're going to do is we're going to bring out some cattle cubes into the pens and see if he'll just walk in. Here, boys! Here, boys! So, I bet we've got a few people here on YouTube that may be watching this that don't necessarily know why it is that you may be castrating Peepaw or banding him, or why it is that we will possibly be branding this guy, or the one that we just sorted off for his new owners. So I was wondering if I could take that and you could tell us why we would be doing that.
Sure. So we're gonna brand this guy here. We sold him to some new owners and I'm selling him as a bull prospect. So I don't know if they're Texas Longhorn Breeders Association of America members or not, but if they ever want to be, having him branded with a holding brand and private herd number is a requirement for them to be registered through the TLBAA. So we're going to do that today for them. So that way if they decide they want to do that, they can. As far as Peepaw goes, he was a bottle calf. He's a pet. You don't want bulls as pets, so we're going to castrate him. And I really don't plan on registering him just because he's a steer. You can, it's just not really necessary. But for identification purposes, in case he was ever stolen or got lost or out on the road or whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and brand him so that way I can be contacted. So that's why we're here today.
And so when we go to castrate Peepaw, are you gonna band him or surgically cut him?
Today we're just gonna band him. The flies are really bad right now. And where I'm gonna take him, I don't have a chute, so I'm not gonna have really a way to inspect, say if I actually castrated him with a knife to keep all the flies off. So I'm just gonna band him. We'll give him a tetanus toxoid shot and some other vaccines, and he should be good to go. I like both methods. It really, for me, just depends on where I'm at, what time of year it is, facilities that I have, and what I decide, whether banding or using a knife. So Whatever works for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So who do we got here?
We have Peepaw over here. He was a bottle calf. His mama died in a freak accident, so he's been living in my yard.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one.
It's okay.
Yep.
And then we have Oops, this Angus Longhorn cross that wasn't meant to happen. And then we have Chunk here. He's going to his new home, I guess, this weekend, so we got to get him good and branded. And then the solid red heifer right here, she's a little irritated because she doesn't want to be weaned, but she has to be. And she's going to get branded today too because she's for sale. So she'll be ready to go whenever someone purchases her.
I'll show you all what it is that we're doing. So we've got the Longhorn chute right here, so we'll go ahead and push them in through here. Right down here, we've got the Brandin irons, and they are electric irons. So what we did is we set up the generator on a propane tank. It is a quiet running generator, trying not to spook the cattle too much or have a bunch of noise when we go to brand them, because we don't want to stress them out too much. But I went ahead and flooded the area right behind the generator, as well as it's a hot exhaust, and we are currently in a drought, and we used the biggest gauge extension cords we could. And I guess it's just time.
Yeah.
We get started.
Let's get them going.
All right. Who do we want to get first?
Probably Peepaw because he keeps getting picked on.
Fantastic.
And I'm a softie, so if we can get him over there.
I love it. You want to sort him off?
Sure. Come on, buddy. Come on, dude.
Sorry, buddy. There you go.
All right, handsome. Other way. I know. I'm all up in your private parts, and I'm very sorry.
So what this is it's basically a rubber band.
And you want to make sure you got both of them.
Yeah. And that you put the band up as high as you can put it up as well. And what'll happen is it basically cuts off the blood supply.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. And it'll basically, his testicles will just...
How does your bander work?
Fall off. Yeah, you open it up, and then it takes a lot of effort to just kind of get the band off the posts.
See, I normally have this fancy calico bander.
Oh yeah.
But I sold it because I didn't really need it anymore.
Well, and we just picked that up from our local feed store.
Okay.
So see, he's got his band on.
We're banded. We got both of them in there. And he'll be a steer soon enough.
Perfect. Tetanus, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So.
And why do you give him a tetanus?
Because basically what happens when you're banding, all this stuff is dying, and you don't want them to go septic, so it helps with that.
Fantastic.
So I've got a couple vaccines here. This has got blackleg, the tetanus, some other stuff. This is for respiratory type diseases. These can be given sub-Q or IM. This one's, it's a 5 mil, so I'm gonna do it in his butt. The other I will probably do in his elbow pocket, just because that's where I normally like to give it. So we'll do this one first. Okay, buddy. And this poor guy thinks he's probably getting traumatized today because Mama's never done anything like this to him. And then I just like to rub it and make sure it all gets in there. And I like to do it in the elbow pocket because when they walk around, it'll help disperse that vaccine and keep it from getting sore.
That's a fantastic idea. Hi, people.
And he's very tense, so I might give this, just because he's so tense, I might give this in the elbow pocket on the other side. I think I'm gonna do that. golly. These don't take very long to heat up, so we're just gonna heat one up at a time. And if this was winter and he was hairy, I might clip him, but he's not, so we're just gonna brand him, and we'll see if I'm tied enough or not. If not, we'll rearrange. That's the only bad thing I don't like about these types of chutes, is if we were using like a regular chute,
they wouldn't move.
I could really cinch him down. So Brandon takes a little more time, and it irritates me a little bit because I'm impatient. Okay.
Oh, the smell of burnt hair.
Yes. Okay.
So and
got his holding number.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see, is you want to see the kind of leather look.
Yep.
Underneath it. Looks good.
You don't want to hold it on there too long. If you do, it can end up causing brand cancer.
Brain cancer?
Brand.
Oh, brand cancer.
Brand cancer.
I was like, brain cancer?
Yeah, brain cancer.
So, and then now, it's your brand.
Yes, I'm just gonna hang this one up so that way none of us gets accidentally branded, because this isn't Yellowstone. So we're just waiting here. I'm gonna let this thing get kind of ashy looking, and then we'll brand. I like this one to be a little hotter because it's a little more complicated. So the less times that I have to apply it, the better. So yeah, it's just kind of the downfall to electric brands. If you're using a generator, you can't have everything all hot and ready. Like if you were, you know, at a feed yard where it's set up for all the brands, or if you're dragging them to the fire,
right,
where you've got all your brands. But this works, and that's not gonna work though, so we'll have to rearrange Mr. Peepaw. And I'm just gonna touch up a little bit right here where he moved earlier.
Now you had a device a couple years ago. It was like an immobilizer.
I still have it. I just didn't bring it, but they are handy because you can stick it in the rears and basically make it to where you shut off certain feelings back there, and it does make branding a little easier. I just was in a hurry and forgot it, so.
Gotcha.
But for what I need this brand for, it's just fine.
Good to go.
And he's all done, except for I'm gonna give him some wormer, because he hasn't been wormed since I brought him home. And I've just got some ivermectin here. This isn't my favorite brand, but it's what I had, so it's what we're gonna use. I'm just gonna guess his weight here.
And why do you worm them?
Because we want to get rid of all the nasty parasites that live within their tummies. Because if you don't, those parasites will eat on them because they're the hosts. And they'll suck them of their blood, their nutrients. Just makes them real sick. Some are more able to fight it on their own. Some aren't. So we just do everybody.
Nope. And they pick up the worms from the grass.
Grass, poop.
Yep.
Because I mean, we all have worms and stuff that we naturally carry. But when they're out on pasture, and if they're in a, especially if they're in a situation where there's a whole bunch of them, those worms, they only travel so far from where they're dropped. But if they're in a really small area, it makes it to where those cattle can't get away from those worms. And those worms have a life cycle, and usually it will die and you don't have a problem. But like I said, if they're in a small area, you have more problems. Yeah, herd health is super important in a feedlot. I mean, it's super important anywhere, but for sure in a setting where you've got 10,000 head of cattle.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. As you can see, we've got real super
wild
cattle here.
Yep.
You don't have to go, you can stay.
So what are we doing to Chunk here?
Chunk here is gonna get vaccinated, dewormed, and branded. And I always give my vaccinations on the same side, so that way if there's a reaction, I know what it was. Come here, dude.
Now this guy, he's used to being in the chute. This is not his first time in the chute.
Ain't his first rodeo.
Nope. This will be your first brand. Huh.
There we go, buddy. And I'm gonna go ahead and move Peepaw so that way when we get done with him, we can just let him out. He says, I've been violated. I don't ever want to go.
I've been violated. I want to go home.
And I don't ever want to get in the trailer again, Mom. I've lived the good life on the back porch.
A back porch.
Yes, that is where he has made his bed.
He was living the high life.
Living the high life. All the grass he could possibly want. All the feed he could possibly want. A dog to play with. And all the patio furniture that he wanted to play with.
How did he do with the dog?
He actually loved the dog. My dog, which is a Great Pyrenees, so big dog, was actually terrified of him. Especially when Peepaw got older and wanted to headbutt. But he got along with him fine. I don't normally recommend, come on, Mama. You're in my way. I don't normally recommend raising them with dogs because I like them to keep that natural instinct.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, he's a bottle calf, so nothing I did with him was normal.
Right.
This guy we're gonna do just 22. I personally don't like all the brands, so I always try to keep the private number as small as I can. They recommend 3, but I'm doing 2, and it is what it is.
That looks good.
See, that's not so bad, huh? That's not so bad. Yeah. Yeah, you are. You're getting lots of brindles on your face. Yeah. That's a pretty boy. Yeah, this is definitely not something I could ever do in the feed yard. Ever.
What's that?
Love on them.
Oh, yeah. No, you're running through them so damn fast.
Yeah, we were running so fast, and they're quirky as all get out. And they didn't want any lovin's. I just basically wait till it looks kind of this ashy color, and then it's pretty much ready.
Means it's hot enough.
And hopefully he'll be as good as he was with these other two, and this will be super easy. All right, buddy. See, I just need to get this L right here, and we should be all set. And then we're done. Y'all can see I wore my good clothes to do this in. Which honestly, this is probably usually I have on shorts and flip-flops, so I guess I upgraded today. I actually have on pants and closed-toed shoes.
It's generally kind of required when you work cattle to wear at least closed-toed shoes.
Nah, haven't lost a toe yet.
All right, he's all good, right?
Yep.
Come on, buddy. You're all done. Good looking brands.
All right, now we got the drama queen. This one will probably be the one that balls.
Oh yeah.
Her mama
is a bit of a drama queen.
Well, she's a very good mama, and if she could, she would raise every calf forever.
Now, a lot of people don't really understand why we don't allow them to.
I mean, I'm sure out in the wild eventually, you know, they'd
kind of kick them off.
Yeah.
Yep.
But for me, especially if I'm doing any sort of like AI work or anything, I want my mamas in the best shape possible.
Right.
So that way.
Well, and we also don't want this year's calf crop nursing on mama.
Yeah,
just trying to fill up a bag for the new calf.
Yeah, because you don't want them taking that colostrum that's so important for those new calves.
Hi, mama.
All right, so same vaccinations for her. Come here, girl.
And the cattle get vaccination for the exact same reason why we get vaccinations.
And have I ever stabbed myself? Absolutely. So I'm vaccinated against blackleg and whatever else.
You've been officially dewormed?
Yeah.
Her horns are tipping back.
Mm-hmm. You're looking pretty good, mama.
You gonna twist?
She has all the genetics for twist.
Let me show you what I mean by her horns are tipping back. Do you see? They're kind of pointing backwards. It's kind of a, you would say that's a good indication that they're gonna curl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, she's not gonna have like
that Texas twist?
Corkscrew twist.
Right.
Just cause this direction right here is telling me, yeah, we'll twist, but not corkscrew. And a lot of those corkscrew cows, they have what I call like a Roman nose, a Roman face. She didn't have that face structure either. So I don't foresee corkscrew. She'll have some good roll and twist though.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're hot now. Maybe that will have been enough. Maybe she won't scoot back on us again. That is actually perfect placement.
real quick, while we're waiting on this thing to get hot, how long have you been running cattle? Been involved in cattle?
Since I was able to walk.
Since you were able to walk?
Yeah. Since I was able to walk.
You grew up in the feedlot?
I did. My mom managed a feedlot. She started out as a bookkeeper. So I learned to do a lot of rations and stuff like that. And then she actually became the manager of the feedlot. And so I spent every day after school there. Summer, that's where I worked. Processed cattle, helped cowboys wherever I could. I would take my young little barrel colts that I had and let them use them in the yard, or I'd use them to check cattle out on meat. Just did a lot, whatever I could. Never learned to rope, so can't count on me for that. Never wanted to, but I'll pretty much try anything. So, but yeah.
That's awesome. But she's a wealth of information. She's got a ton of experience working cattle, especially everywhere from the feed yard to high dollar customer cattle with the Longhorns and such. But she is available for consulting as well. We'll make sure we tag her in the video so you can find her.
And then we just hold that. I'm gonna get some warmer on her real quick. And she's ready for fall and winter and her new home.
She is for sale, currently on the market. Got a beautiful dam. She goes back to Brindle Beauty and Mad Cat.
And if you do your genetic homework, you will see that she is packed with cow power because her dam is Danica's half maternal sister.
And if you don't know who Danica is, just Google Danica Texas Longhorn.
Yep, 3S Danica.
Yep, so. She sold for $380,000 at the legacy sale. What was that, in 2018?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
19? I don't know, but she was the longest horned cow in the world up until very recently.
Yep.
Yep.
But everyone always commends them on her horns, but the real thing about that cow is her family line. They are excellent mothers. They always raise big calves. They milk good. Like, you chop the horns off of her and you've got you a good breeding cow, like that you could run out on a ranch somewhere. Like, it's not just horn.
Right.
Come on, get up off of there. And that's why I chose that line as one of my main lines, even well before Danica even came along. Because Brindle Beauty is actually older than Danica by 2 years, I think. She's gonna be a good cow. She'll probably brindle.
Oh yeah.
Most people don't know Mad Cat, but that's just because Joe hasn't, well, I don't have your gate open yet, girl. But that's mainly just because Joe hasn't advertised that bull.
Right, that's
But it's Daryl Dickinson Breeding.
That's Joe Dowling with the Katy Bar Cattle Company is the one that owns Mad Cat.
No, Oops. Oops wants to get branded too. Come on, buddy. Come on.
We all done?
We're done. All that's
awesome.
left is for us to clean up our mess and me to load up Peepaw and take him back and let him out in the pasture with my other steer, so that way he can learn how to be a real cow.
Instead of living on the patios?
Instead of living on the back porch. Because this cow mama's over it.
Yep. Bye.